Hello, BookTube. I just finished up what I thought was going to be a rearrangement of my library. Over the last few months, I have alternated between having my manga collection or my history collection on the wall behind me. Um, Currently, I have my history collection behind me, although I was thinking about moving my manga collection back over here and moving my history collection over to the other wall. Largely because in the not too distant future, I am going to be adding more bookshelves to my collection or bookcases to my collection. Um, so behind me, there is empty space. It's currently occupied by my desk. It's starting to fall apart, and I would like to replace it with two bookcases, a large one here and then a smaller one over on the other wall. Um, but that's going to take some thought because I do have tech on my desk. I have a tablet and two computers. They're both laptops, so that won't be too difficult. But my issue, and also a printer that is a piece of poo. Um, so I'm having to think about where everything's going to go. And one of my biggest concerns was where am I going to store my computers and my tablet? Um, I eventually settled on using two of my stacked on bookcases. So I have one that's currently right here and another one on the other wall where there's a space that I could use to put my computers. And I thought maybe I could move this computer over to here, but it wouldn't fit. And I also thought about moving the other bookcase over here and then getting an even larger one over on the other wall. But I don't know. I don't think it would actually quite fit, or if it did, it would be a very tight squeeze. So what I settled on was flipping these two bookcases. This bookcase here is my newest one, and it was over here, but there's an outlet here. So that way, when it comes time to um, move my computers and stuff, or the charge and the surge protector, um, I could go and already have it in place, and I would just need to take the books off and do that, which is, I think, what I'm going to do um, when I do get the new bookcases in. I'm going to do a massive sort of reorganization of my history collection. I think what I'm going to do, so I mean, one option is to just alphabetize it, but there are variations in size. So I can't put um, like every book in every space. I have to be mindful of like the space constraints. Sort of like how this shelf here and this shelf here can take larger books than this shelf here. And given how circumstances here, um, this shelf here has to have shorter books or smaller books. Um, so I think what I'm going to do is a mix of organizing my collection by subject and also by author, but they won't be necessarily contiguous. So, say for example, I have quite a few books by H.W. Brands. I'll just group them all together, whether they're biography or histories. I have a number of books by Adrian Goldsworthy, so they'll all be grouped together. Something like that. Oh, also Ron Chernow, although I only have two by him. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, part of I think why I was thinking about moving my manga back over here is that I'm not entirely sure about this bookcase. Um, I mean, it's managed to last stacked on top of the other bookcase and without any issues for a year or two now. And I put some heavy books on it. So I'm pretty sure it's secure, but I would like to be doubly sure because I don't really want to risk my computers being smashed to bits. Um, so maybe an alternate sort of storage space for them rather than in here might be in order as well. Also, in a way, the other wall is a bit more of my pride of place. It's kind of like that's where the books that I most enjoy are. Even though I try not to have a sort of a hierarchy of organization, it sort of happened, and I. This has been a very weird reading week, and I'll talk a lot more about that in a few hours with weekly reads. But suffice it to say, my reading week this week has not been spectacular at all. And I overreacted as I am wont to do, but I sort of reeled myself in um, while I was rearranging the books. So I basically put the manga back on the other walls or the other bookcases and then put all of the history books back on here. And yeah, and I'll sort of kind of I think this is how it's going to be. Although don't quote me on that because I might change my mind between now and the next time I decide to rearrange things, which is also healthy and it does give me something to do. Um, so anyway, BookTube, I think when I do get the new bookcases in, I'll do a similar meet the new bookcase video and then talk a bit more about how things are going to go. I don't know if I'm going to do a dedicated library tour this year. Those are exhaustive, particularly if you have a large collection. It can kind of get away from you. But I am thinking of doing a book unhaul or a series of book unhaul videos because I do have about 200 books that I am wanting to donate to the a local friend to the library for their book sale. And I think I'm going to try to do it next week. So this weekend, excuse me, I definitely need to get going on filming that unhaul. So anyway, BookTube, I will see you in a few hours with weekly reads. So until then, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.